Good morning, everyone. Today we will learn about clauses. But before understanding about clause, first of all, let's understand the difference between a clause and a phrase, because this is something where most of us gets confused. So what is actually a clause and what is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words that does not contain subject and verb combination. It does not make complete sense and it cannot stand on its own. For example, in the evening, under the chair, in the west. In all these group of words, there is no subject and verb combination. And that is why these groups are not giving complete meaning. That is why they are called as phrase. Now, what is a clause? A clause contains subject and verb combination. It is a group of words which contain subject and verb combination. It makes a complete sense and it may or may not stand on its own. For example, I play in the evening. Here we have a subject I and the verb play. So it is group of words which has a subject and verb combination and it is giving a complete meaning. That is why it is a clause. The cat is under the chair. The sun sets in the west. So in all these three sentences, it is actually a clause because they contain subject and verb combination. Now, let's understand more about clauses. A clause can be of two types, dependent and independent. A dependent clause is one which doesn't convey complete meaning, whereas an independent clause is one which conveys complete meaning. So, dependent clause cannot stand on their own, whereas independent clauses can stand on their own. And along with that, we all know that clauses are group of words, and along with that, they contain a subject and verb combination. Now let's understand it with the help of examples. Now see this group of words. When I reached home. Here we have a subject I, we have a verb reached. So it means because it has subject and verb combination, it is not a phrase. But this part, this group is not giving a complete meaning. So if I add these words, you were playing in the garden. Now this complete sentence is now giving a meaning. So this part, which is not giving a complete meaning but has a subject and verb combination, is called as a dependent clause because it is not giving a complete meaning. But when you talk about this another group, it has a subject and verb combination. The subject is you and verb playing is a verb. So it is a clause and it can stand on its own, means it is giving a complete meaning. That is why it is an independent clause. Another example, if the problem persists. Again, we have a subject here, problem. We have a verb persist. So it means it is a clause, but this clause is not giving a complete meaning. So we have added few other words. You should consult a doctor. Now with the help of these words, this group is giving a complete meaning. So that is why this group is called as a dependent clause and this one is called as an independent clause. Here we have a subject you, we have a verb consult. So it has a subject and verb combination. That is why it is not a phrase. And if you will use this part all alone, it will give a complete meaning. That is why it is an independent clause. Let's understand with the help of few more examples. My neighbor is a man who owns great wealth. Here, my neighbor is a man. This is one group because it has subject neighbor and verb is. So it is a clause, right? And another group is who owns great wealth. Now this group is giving a complete meaning. My neighbor is a man. It is giving a complete meaning. So that is why it is independent. And this another group has subject who and verb owns. but it is not giving a complete meaning. That is why it is a dependent clause. They are still working. Here we have a subject they, we have verb are working. So it is a clause and it does not require any other group of words for giving a complete meaning. That is why it is an independent clause. So a sentence actually consists of clauses and phrases. So sometimes a sentence can contain only a single clause. So it is actually a clause which makes it a complete sentence. After the guest had left, the doors were closed. So we have one group after the guest had left. Here we have the subject guest and verb had left. So it has subject verb combination, but it is not giving a complete meaning. That is why it is dependent. Whereas the doors were closed. We have the subject doors. We have the verb were closed, but it is giving a complete meaning here. That is why it is an independent clause. Now, I hope that you have understood about dependent and independent clauses. Now let's understand the types of dependent clause. Dependent clause can be categorized into three categories: adjective or relative clause, noun clause, and adverb clause. So today we are going to talk about adjective or relative clause. So what is adjective or relative clause? It describes a noun or a pronoun. Because it is adjective, that is why definitely it will describe a noun or a pronoun. It answers to the question which one. So that clause will be the answer to the question which one. It is introduced by the words who, whose, which, and that. Now these words, who, whose, which, and that, are relative pronouns. That is why it is also called as relative clause. And sometimes it is also introduced by the words like as, when, where, etc. It is placed as close to the noun as possible. For example, we need a person who is an expert in MS Office to work on this project. Now, which person we need? Who is an expert in MS Office? Now, this clause, this group of words, is actually telling us more about the noun person, right? That is why it is an adjective clause and it is introduced with the word who. That is why it can also be called as relative clause. It has a subject verb pair here. Subject is who and the verb is. The woman who is carrying a red bag is my aunt. Now, which woman we are talking about? Who is carrying a red bag? Now, again, this group of words is actually describing woman, right? So that is why it is describing a noun woman. That is why it is adjective clause and it is introduced with the word who. That is why it is also called as a relative clause. Peter, who always helps others, is in trouble. Here, again, this is a group of words which is telling us more about Peter. That is why it is an adjective clause. Lisa, whose mother is a police officer, lives in Delhi. Here, whose mother is a police officer. This group of words is actually telling us more about Lisa. That is why this part is a relative clause and it contains a noun, a subject and a verb combination. Mother and verb is. Tina, whom you were trying to call since morning, has changed her mobile number. Again here, whom you were trying to call since morning is a clause and it is an adjective clause. Peter, whose notebook you took yesterday, has asked to return it within an hour. Again, this group, whose notebook you took yesterday, is telling us more about Peter and it is introduced with the relative pronoun whose. That is why it is an adjective or a relative clause. That's all for today. I hope you have understood whatever we have discussed. Thank you.